President Bola Tinubu says the decision to remove the fuel subsidy was one of necessity and not convenient. Represented by the Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka-Anite, the president noted that the 4 trillion naira spent on fuel subsidy in 2022 alone exceeded capital expenditure and disproportionately benefited the wealthy. The president stressed that fiscal governance remains the lifeblood of any nation's development. Without transparency and accountability, he said, even oil-rich nations like Nigeria will struggle. He highlighted ongoing reforms including newly signed tax laws designed to simplify compliance, digitize collections, and expand the tax base, particularly by integrating the informal sector. President Tinubu also affirmed that Nigeria's economy is being repositioned through investment in agriculture, digital services, manufacturing, renewable energy, and the creative economy. He cited the creation of the National Credit Guarantee Company as one such step to empower SMEs and drive non-oil exports. On monetary policy, Tinubu acknowledged the role of the central bank in stabilizing the naira and coordinating with fiscal authorities to reduce inflation and tackle supply bottlenecks, especially in food distribution. He reiterated the administration's commitment to transparency through digital tools like IPPRS, GRFMIS, and the Open Treasury Portal, all designed to make government transactions traceable and open to citizens. Turning to the legislature, Tinubu charged the Public Accounts Committees of the Senate and House to carry out their oversight duties with courage and integrity, describing oversight as a patriotic responsibility and not a political weapon.
In 2022 alone, Nigeria spent over 4 trillion on fuel subsidies, more than we allocated to capital expenditure. This was not only fiscally unsustainable, it was unjust. A subsidy that disproportionately benefited the affluent, encouraged smuggling, and breeded inefficiency was neither equitable nor strategic.
In his remarks, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, represented by Senator Abdul Ningi, warned against the increasing trend of public officials ignoring legislative sermons.
It is imperative to understand that without transparency, without physical discipline, without physical integrity, there will be no genuine development. There must be accountability and there must be transparency in a manner that the revenues of the nation is spent. It is the duty of the Public Accounts Committee and other committees of the legislature to track revenues, how they are collected, how they are kept.
In his remarks, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, represented by Senator Abdul Ningi, warned against the increasing trend of public officials ignoring legislative sermons, describing it as a direct assault on democracy. House Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, represented by House Leader Julius Iyomvere, raised alarm over 300 billion naira in unrecovered audit infractions. He said audit recommendations are routinely ignored and urged for stronger sanctions and timely enforcement.
Our public funds remain unaccounted for. More than 60% of federal ministries, departments, and agencies failed to comply with financial regulations. The reports identify challenges that include unauthorized environments, incomplete audit cycles, institutional leakages, and weak enforcement of rules. The 2024 Subnational Audit Efficacy Index reveals an even more dire situation at the state level.
House Public Accounts Committee Chairman Honorable Bamidele Salam emphasized that making public funds work for the public good must go beyond rhetoric, urging participants to turn conference resolutions into measurable outcomes.
It is our hope that this conference will come up with clear, actionable and pragmatic measurable plans to achieve this objective in an immediate and short plus long-term measures. It is gratifying to note that at a pre-conference dinner held last night we achieved one of the goals of this conference, which is to secure a commitment by both chambers of the National Assembly as well as development partners to speedily pass the audit bill, a piece of legislation central to promoting accountability in Nigeria.
International support was also acknowledged. President of the African Organization of Public Accounts Committee, Honorable Medad Lubega Seguna, commended Nigeria's leadership in fiscal accountability, noting that the country will host the upcoming WAPA conference.
And as parliamentarians on the continent, we must rise to that call and occasion, not just with words, but through robust action and institutional reforms. The conference is not just a national event, it's continental and a monumental signal, a signal that Nigeria is taking the lead in rethinking our fiscal governance and that is a willing partner in shared goal and innovations.
Head of the Civil Service, Mrs. Didi Hester Wasinjak, also pledged support for the reforms, describing the conference as timely for enhancing service delivery and restoring citizens' confidence in public governance. With rising economic pressures and demands for better governance, Nigeria's leader says the new era of fiscal transparency is not just a vision, but a necessity. Whether the promises translate into results, however, remains a test of political will and public vigilance. Hakima Dada reporting for TV Platinum.